It's a standings from 1974. I won the national championship, and I was rated #1 in the country. Michael Spinks, Sugar Ray Leonard, Howard Davis, all the guys that won the Olympics in 76. That's the biggest mistake I ever made. I should have waited. Maybe I wouldn't have made it, but Leon Spinks was outside the top 10 when I was #1. They said, where are you born? Oh, you're Irish, I know, I'm American, I was born here. And they said, you gotta be Irish. I said, no, I'm not Irish, I'm American. I was born. So I had American Bobby Stewart on my robes. That's all Tyson, that's me fighting there, custom auto and me in Lake Placid in about early 80s. That's all stuff of Tyson's fights. That was one of the nationals in the whole little paper they put it on. That's a picture of Tyson and me when he got married and Kevin Rooney. Marvin Hagler was my teammate in 74 and 73, or no, 72 and 73. Aaron Pryor, remember him? This is New York City. We're in the airport, we're going to Venezuela. That was him. Maybe there, longer hair. And that's Hagler there. He fought Lionel Gibbs right here from Amsterdam. Lionel put a good fight. It's Tyson, those two there, Tyson's at his wedding with Robin Gibbs, their mother.
When you were fighting in that era, like the late 60s and mid 70s.
Wait, I'm not the old 70s, yeah.
That era, it was, the magical era of boxing. You had Ali, you had Norton, Foreman, Frazier.
Corey.
Yeah, all those guys, yeah.
Foster.
Yeah.
Emil Griffith.
You must have been inspired by those guys when you were fighting.
I like Corey being a tough guy and stuff like that. It's just too bad if he could fight a lick. He was a tough, probably tougher than any of them. But he's so stubborn that he never really learned. He could punch with any of them. Punch probably better one punch than any of them at the time. But he just never learned how to fight really. He just was a scrapper. And he fought for championship a few times. He couldn't win the title.
What got you involved in boxing?
My father used to watch like this Friday night fights sometimes, and I sort of would watch it a little bit with him. And I remember it was a big thing. I got through the first 10-round fight without falling asleep or doing something. That was like, I'm just watching it. And I sort of got interested, and then I joined the Y in Amsterdam. I know downstairs with the older guys where they box sometimes. And one time I went down there, and there was a guy by the name of Kenny House who all looked up to. He's a funny guy. Started fighting like 17 years old. I started working with him, and the first time I went 2 rounds with him, and we were heavyweights then. I stayed with him. I stayed with him pretty good. I said, Jesus, this guy had 24 fights and he won 20, and I could stay with him for 3 rounds. I was good enough in a lot of other sports, but I was scared to actually fight you that I knew, but I was scared of who am I going to fight? No, it was a scary thing. There's a Hudson Valley Community College, Friday and Saturday night, 69 or 70. I went down there and see all these fighters. Oh my God! I would learn later. Hey, you're not fighting all them guys. You're fighting one guy. There's only 2 guys in our class, me and the other guys I'm training with in Amsterdam. I said, I can at least stay with him. I know and stuff. So then we fought on a Saturday night, and I won a close decision over him. But I was scared to death. I would never let anybody know that. But if you're not scared, there's something wrong with you. But then after I got through with it, it felt so good, especially to win. I won a close decision. So I said, well, and then for at least a week to 2 after that, I hurt so bad, and it wasn't from getting punched. It was from my lungs expanding so hard against my ribs. I had never worked that hard before. I played football and basketball and stuff, and I never had worked that hard. And I said, wow, I'll never do that again. Because every year a bunch of guys would go to Golden Gloves from Amsterdam. We were always held in Troy at the time. I've got to go someplace else. I can't stay in Amsterdam where they go once a year and stuff. So I called a trainer in Albany, Matt Bransky, from Trinity Institute, and he never got back to me. So I said, well, and the guy from Skankley, this big kid who worked in Sears, not around here anymore, I don't think. But he came up to Amsterdam one time. He said he saw me fight and he thought I should continue. Would I go with him down to Trinity Institute? I said, yeah. I called them though, they wouldn't take me. I was fat, I weighed 220 something. I went in the gym and he walked in and Masters. I said, what do you guys want? I said, I'd like to work out. All right, and he walked away. He just didn't give me any answer. So that, instead of knocking me down, that inspired me. So I just hit the bag the first time and stuff like that. And I want to go back and 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 never go every day. And then I started sparring with different guys. And as I did, I started getting a little bit better. I started dropping weight. And I got down where I said maybe I could reach 178 to fight in light heavyweight. And I got down to 178. So I fought in light heavyweights from then on. And stayed with Matt Bransky forever.
How many interviews have you done about Tyson through the years?
Oh, like 30, 40. HBO, A&E, different channels, the regular channels. People call all the time and ask questions and stuff like that. It's not pertaining to Tyson. It is pertaining to Tyson, but how I made him work. And I said I didn't make him work. He did it. I said I just pushed him and just kept forcing the fact that you get in trouble. Forget it. It's simple as that. This is all the good work you're doing is all put out the door. And he just wouldn't. It's just amazing. And I didn't appreciate them because you go to work every day and I'm dealing with the guys that aren't, doing good. Most of them going to jail and stuff like that. And this guy just maybe. And he did it.
When you first met Tyson, you already, before you met him, you already knew about his reputation?
No.
You didn't know anything about him at all?
I worked in Elmwood Cottage, which was a secure cottage on grounds. You didn't get really admitted to us unless you goofed up in some other location, they said, because of kind of confinement type of thing. Tyson came to one of the open programs, which the less, he didn't have any big criminal charges or anything like that. But because I was an ex-fighter, they let me work out with the kids. The kids couldn't work themselves, because they'd be fighting all the time. So I'd box with each one of them if they were on the top level, which you would all get when they knew, like the next Tuesday we're going to fight. All of a sudden they do well because they wanted to. Some of them would be almost crying, and they get so scared. But I said, once you start, you're not quitting. You've got to go 3 rounds or no. Tyson was 3 rounds. But them guys, 1 round, you got to go to 3 minutes. You can't quit. You quit, then I will punch you. I'll punch you down and stuff like that, which I obviously wouldn't. But it was so neat. Some of the big kids, Tay Junkins, I remember, and he's laughing. But they all went around, and everybody went to bed that night. No problems. They're tired and they all went to sleep and stuff. And that's my ex-boss said. Did you ever notice about that? He says, there's never any problems those nights because they're all so excited initially, and then when they get done, they're done and they go to sleep. He heard about me working with the kids over there, and he asked how to get into our cottage, and they said just keep acting like an idiot, like you are, or something like that. So the next day, he moved up in school or something like that, and I physically got involved with another kid, and they sent him to us. And when he came, I remember that they walked 2 of the biggest staff on campus, walked them through from one cottage to the next. And we had 2 people watching him. He was in a room, took everything out of the room in case of suicide and all that stuff. And I kept calling over there and asking him how he's doing. He said, he's perfect. Yes, sir, no, sir, everything. All he wants to do is talk to Mr. Stewart. I said, yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, just in case he's goofing around, I don't want him to come back and start problems with the rest of the group, get them all screwed up. So we waited from say he came over at 4 o'clock, we waited till 11 o'clock when everybody else was in bed. Then we brought him over. They marched him over, put him in a room, locked the doors, and then I went, I slammed, I would get fired if I did it, but I slammed the door open. I said, what do you want with me? He said, I want to be a fighter. I said, so the rest of these idiots. I said, if they want to be fighters, they wouldn't have come here in the first place. They'd be out in the streets, going to school, and going to the gyms after school. So you're probably just another one. I really wanted I really want to change myself. But he wouldn't look me in the eye. He looked like this. He's so insecure, he couldn't look me straight on. It took like 3 weeks to trust me before we could actually talk. So, for some reason, this is easy to say now, but I said it way back then there too, that I said, Jesus, wouldn't it be neat if one kid wanted to really do something with himself? I don't care if it's boxing, football, singing, acting, just wants to do something with themselves. Because you get so sick of dealing with the kids that don't care, don't try. So anyways, I went home and told my ex-wife at the time, I said, I got this kid. It's probably just another fake, but I said, he's just driving me nuts. I think maybe he might want to try for a while. And then from then on, I told him I wouldn't work with him. I said, let's see when I left that night, I slammed the door. I said, well, I'll talk to you in a few weeks. Let's see your behavior change and we'll see what happens. And I don't believe it'll change. It will, he says. Okay, so completely changed the attitude. His teachers were calling up, what the heck happened? He went from he's supposed to be borderline retarded. I talked to one person. I said, somebody's borderline. He's not retarded. I said, he went to school one day in the last 2 years. How can he pass the test? He doesn't know how to. Does anybody ever interview him? I mean, verbally and stuff like that? He's smart. I said, he's not dumb. And they said, oh, he just was one of the falling through the cracks. They don't care. So whatever his behavior, his teachers are calling. He's trying. He went from a 3rd to a 7th grade reading level in like a matter of 2 months, that was where we were supposed to be about. Behavior. The main thing was, I said, I don't care if you flunk every subject, but you behave yourself in school. You don't do it, screw up so the other kids can't participate and stuff or better themselves. Everything changed. It's again, every day I go home and say, oh, there's one more day in the book. He's not in trouble and stuff like that. Because I would really push him for him. And then the other guy said, what are you wasting your time for? He said, he's just going to be like one of the other ones. He's just going to fall through the cracks and stuff. But he didn't. He just working on his guy. But I still was, because most of the other ones do fall through. So I kept thinking, God, come on. And then after a couple of weeks of good behavior, then I started working with him. And I had to make sure. He was 105, 196 pounds when I first met him. He says, we got it, like my boss said, sure you can handle this with it, because I hadn't fought in a couple of years, but I was running marathons and stuff like that, so I was in good shape. So I said, I'm all right with him. So the very first time I worked out was in front of the whole crew, all the kids. And I had to I made a real fool of him. I made him miss or fall down and stuff like that. I didn't hit him hard, but he says I did, but I didn't. But I made him, had to make a fool of him initially. So his kids say, anyway, your staff's still in charge, or the kids aren't taking over. And then he said, what did I do wrong? Jesus, I'm thinking to myself, he really wants to try. I never let him know. I'm the tough guy, I'm on the staff and something, but Jesus, this kid might want to try. So then, anytime I'd show him something at night, because I worked the nights, he'd practice and practice and practice, and the lights were out at 11 o'clock, and the 3rd shift staff would say to me, like, remember Joe Wall saying to me the one day, he says, he was up till 3 o'clock in the morning. He says, in the dark, in a locked room. He just was shadow boxing or whatever I showed him. And I said, well, did he give you a problem in the morning? No, got right up and stuff like that. I said, you're trying. I said, it's hard for the other staff to understand that, because they're used to dealing with the ones that don't care and don't try. But he just kept trying. And maybe a couple months down the road, I was still just playing with him. And Sunday night, we were at the gym. We used to box in a cottage, but we went to the gym tonight because we had a bunch of kids want to play basketball, and so 2 staff went. So that's another thing. Other staff in the Elmwood Cottage in the year, like in those years, helped a great deal, because they would cover for me when I'm boxing with Tyson, and they're taking care of the rest of the kids. They should all get credit for it too. We went to the gym, and the other staff were watching the kids play basketball, and I would walk me off to the side, like say back in there or something, and I started working with him, and I get hit again. Like I say, I'm still playing with him because I can still make a fool of him. He caught me with a straight jab, the hardest that I can never remember being hit with just a straight jab. And I've been with Michael Dokes, Eddie Davis, some of the better fighters in my days. And oh, Jesus. I grabbed him and tied him up. I can't go down. What the hell? So we would box a little bit more. That was like the first round. Then the third round again, he hit me again. And I'm just lucky. I grabbed him again and tied him up. And then I flurried quick and just make it like the bell rang, luckily. All right, good work, I said, and stuff like that. Well, anyways, that was a Sunday. Like I said, I went home and I was off, thank God, off the next week. Because my nose was broken, my eyes were all, the next morning, black and stuff. And I said, boy, I can't fool this kid. Lucky, I was on vacation, like I say, and I didn't have to, and I wasn't going anywhere, so I worked. Besides, I used to run every day, and then I boxed twice. Bags twice, no more fooling around. My hands up all the time, move my head and stuff. So when I went back the following week, I was still staying at that path. I had to train hard, which was good. I liked it. I was still in my upper 20s to stay ahead of him, because he would, if I slacked for a second, he would right on you. And he got so good. I brought him to Albany one time to Matt Briansky gym. Matt looked at him. He said, "Yeah, he looks good." Nobody believed he was. Might have been 14 at that time, 13 or 14. He turned 14 in June. And they get out of here. He's 18, 20 years old. I said, he's not. So I run, so then I called Customato, and I asked Customato if I could bring him down. He said, yep. He says, so we made a date, bring him down. So at the time, I should look at him. Practices. I said, when I said that, is do it 1,000,000 times. The hands up, slipping out of the corner, like a cuss, like bam, 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 then he jumped aside, then jumped back and stuff. And he almost like overnight conquers it because he practices all night. And so took him down there, hoping that maybe Cuss would say, "Hey, looks pretty good. You can bring him back another day or something like that." So I again, remember I said, first of all, respectful and stuff like that. And I said, just in there, do the things you got to do. So we get Teddy Atlas working in the corner there and stuff, or working the referee or something like that. And he says, "We haven't got anybody big enough for him to box with." I said, "No, I'm going to box with him." All right, so we get in there. He was perfect, just with everything I showed him. Something like he plugged him in, he did everything he was supposed to do, slipping, moving his head, bang. And I got to hit him pretty good to keep him off me and stuff like that. And then the second round, middle of the second round, I caught him in the nose. It was no big deal, but his nose started bleeding and went all over his face. So after the second round, Teddy Atlas says, "Hey, Bobby, we saw enough. His nose bleeding and stuff like that." And Tyson says, "No, excuse me," he said, "but we have to go 3 rounds. Mr. Stewart says once we start, we have to finish. That means I gotta finish 3 rounds." I looked over at Cuss, and his head was like, it just, like all of a sudden, like his blood pressure up 9 million. And there's a couple old timers standing there looking. I said, I said, that was it, that's perfect. So we went the 3rd round, and he was good as ever. So again, like I'm thinking maybe he'll let me bring him back again. So Cuss was taking my gloves off, and I said, "What do you think of the kid?" He said, "What do I think about the kid?" He said, "Barring outside distractions, if he is 13 years old, that will be the youngest heavyweight champion of all time." And he had the youngest heavyweight champion in Floyd Patterson before that. And I said, Jesus, this is like a dream. I'm looking for cameras like it's a fake or something. And anyway, so I'm acting like we had big deals. So he takes the gloves off, and he said, "Do me a favor." He said, "I believe you if you say it's true." But he says, "Can you get any documentation he's 13? He was just about 14. And he didn't have a birth certificate, but he had something with the state. When you're born, they document his age. June 30th, 66, I believe. And so I said, "Yeah, I can." So he said, "I believe you, but I just want to, okay." And he says, "Please keep in touch," and stuff like that. I said, "Well, I'll bring him down like the following. I used to get 2 days off usually, and I said, I'll take him down like the following week." He said, "Fine." So from then on, I would bring him down every week or two. And one of the guys there, Teddy Atlas, Kevin Rooney, any of them, Nadia, they would show him little things to practice, and then he'd practice it non-stop. And by the next time he was there, he knew it. Yeah, and if like I say, if one kid sees what this kid started as this low and went this high. Went a little back down, now he's back up again and stuff. If they work 1/2 as hard as him, they'll make it. And it doesn't have to be boxing. It could be baseball. It could be science teacher, whatever. If it helps, I'd love to talk to people like that again. And I love it because it's not a lie. I don't have to train or nothing or think about it because I know I've done it. I mean, it's the truth. And if it helps one person, it's worth it.
You want to give any contact information on how to get a hold of you?
Like I say, I would love to help kids. If anybody ever wanted to talk to me, schools or youth jails or something like that, or whatever, TFI facilities. Robert G. Stewart, 204 Perry Boulevard, Fonda, New York, 12068. And my phone number is 518-829-7128. And I would be willing to help or talk to any group that wanted.